page 64, he is describing on these pages the interplay of matter with spirit. And actually, they are not contrary to one another. Matter is a form of the spirit, but matter seems to hide it. In the heart of matter is the spirit. The spirit is playing at hide and seek with matter. So she is the spirit, the world of nature, of matter, of progressive manifestation. And the consciousness is he who slowly breaks out of his, you might say, hiding. He is hiding within her. He slowly emerges, and gradually there is a new kind of manifestation, a more conscious material manifestation. It's not a giving up of the body, it's not a giving up of matter, it's a showing, as if nature shows what matter is supposed to be, an expression of the divine consciousness. Body is spiritual, the body is not material. Hidden inside the body, hidden inside matter, within the heart of inertia, is that supreme energy. That supreme energy progressively emerges through evolution, through change. Evolution is a growth of consciousness. So, I think we started from there. No, his consciousness is a babe upon her knees. For a long time, this consciousness is very, very rudimentary in the world of the outward material manifestation. It's like a baby, but he has to grow. His consciousness is a babe upon her knees. His being, a field of her vast experiment. Nature is the field. She is doing this experiment of breaking the resistance of inertia. Nature is Shakti. Nature is not just matter. Therefore, in the field of matter is the Shakti, the divine Shakti. This is an experiment. But matter has its rules, and the rule is to be resistant. So we remain resistant. We remain, you might say, inert. So she has to break down that inertia through shocks, through blows, through all kinds of experiments she does to break down our resistance. Her endless space is the playground of his thoughts. So after the body, it is a widening of consciousness. His thought, he spreads his consciousness everywhere. But space is the field of manifestation. Space and time. This manifestation is she. So it is this interplay of he and she. She binds to knowledge of the shapes of time and the creative error of limiting mind and chance that wears the rigid face of fate and her sport of death and pain and nescience, his changed and struggling immortality. She binds to knowledge of the shapes of time. The shapes of time are we all that is. Slowly we grow from ignorance to light. We should gradually, this manifestation of which is automatic, our existence is without any understanding why we are what we are. Gradually we have to find out what we are for. So this knowledge comes through time. Time is the field of all movement. Everything happens in the field of time. And the creative error of limiting mind. Mind makes a conclusion, draws a certain conclusion, says this is so, and after some time finds that it is not so. Things are not exactly the way they were thought to be. So it is a creative error. Because of the error, because of the pain, we don't accept things as they are. Because of the imperfection. So it becomes a boon that we have to pass through difficulties, we have to pass through pain, And that breaks down our opposition to the manifestation of consciousness. Existence and we are not finished products. It's a continuous journey, a manifestation of consciousness. And because the being is made of the very stuff of inertia, that consciousness is not permitted to emerge easily by ourselves, our own consciousness. So we remain the way we are. But out of this, slowly, a new manifestation takes place. It is like you might say, a sculptor. He takes the stuff of stone or clay or metal or whatever which is hard and resistant, shapes it slowly to become an expression of beauty, an expression of divinity. But slowly, because the clay or the metal has to resist, otherwise it will not be able to be molded. If we don't resist, we cannot be molded. We just become absolutely liquid.
The vessel will break too. If it stays too rigid, it breaks,
It is.
chips off.
He has to chip off, hammer, and that is part of the process. If I am left as I am, I'll never change, I'll never become something more. So I have to receive the blows because he knows, he the sculptor, he the consciousness, knows the hidden possibility that is there in the field of that metal or wood or stone, what is waiting to emerge, which has to be made to emerge. And so if life is something that is simply easy, straightforward, we don't really move in an upward direction. We just are more or less on the same rut. We don't change. So it is a creative error. A new creation can come through this. And chance that wears the rigid face of fate. We don't realize everything has been worked out. But because we don't realize, when things have manifested themselves, we say it is chance. An accident is a chance. That's the meaning behind the word accident. But it was part of the play. It was part of the plan. Nothing is there which is not part of the divine plan. It cannot exist. But outwardly, you call it chance. It has been worked out. When a play or a game or even a drama has been worked out, it has been decided that the end, the denouement, the end has to precede the beginning. The writer knows towards what he is leading his text. It is towards that, for that purpose, that the text has been written. But we can't see the end. We think things work out slowly, one after the other. But the future is already prepared. The future exists before the beginning. That's why you have sometimes prophets and seers who can see. They see what is happening and going to happen in the future. No, what they see has already happened. It's already there. Only that vision has broken out of this narrow veil of mind, which thinks itself to be very clever, very smart. And her sport of death and pain and nescience. So in a sense, she seems to be uncaring of our suffering. She seems not to care, which is how it should be. If she was always pampering us and letting us remain the way we are, we would never change. So she sports. So there are the aspects of the Divine Mother where the mother breaks down opposition. The aspect of Kali, for instance. She battles against the opposition. And yet she is the mother of love. She does it out of love. His changed and struggling immortality. Slowly to change from mortality to immortality. Man has always had the dream of being free from the bondage of death. He has not done it, but he's always had a dream of immortality and freedom and bliss and God. He has never achieved it because he has to realize that he has to change. Immortality will not be given to us as a gift on a platter and you can just take it. You have to work, break down whatever resists, work in every particle of the being that is resistance, in every cell of the body that is inconscience. That's why the work is so slow, so long. You have a dream in your heart, in your mind, but your body also has to have the same dream. The body has the dream of immortality, but the body has also the stuff of inconscience lodged in every particle of his being. His soul is a subtle atom in a mass. Soul is there, the spirit is there, the consciousness is there, but the atom or the cell is in the mass. But what is an atom? It is spirit. An atom is not something which is material. In the heart of matter is the spirit. Every particle of matter is spiritual. Basically, we are spiritual. He climbs to eternity through being's gaps. Beings, moments when our being seems to fail, we become free from the bondage to the body. The spirit seems to go back to its origin. It remembers its origin. The soul returns to where it came from. But to bring that experience down again, it has to come back to manifest in the body. He is carried by her from night to deathless light. This grand surrender is his free will's gift. He, the spirit, the consciousness, has allowed himself to be slowly freed from the prison of matter. He has entered that prison and slowly emerges. He is the one who has created matter. He is the source of everything. He is the supreme divine. And yet, she is his force. She has been given this task, and this task is slowly to shape, to mold whatever is outwardly a resistance to the manifestation of matter. And the main resistance is ignorance, unconsciousness. Every particle has this element. So freely he says, now you break down this. So he's often described as being trapped in, like you find the legend of Krishna being born in a jail, in a prison. This image is there everywhere, that the divine is apparently trapped and has to come out of that trap. But he has done it knowingly, he is not trapped at all. He is free. That is the interplay. His pure transcendent force submits to hers, so he becomes her slave. It will take 1,000,000 years for the world of matter to be totally supramentalized, free from all the imperfections of ignorance, born out of ignorance, born out of inconscience. But he belongs to eternity. So he is not always necessarily in a hurry. The creative force, as Mother told us once, elle n'est pas pressée. She's not in a hurry. She takes her time. Because the way of looking at time they have and we have are not the same. We have a small mind, so for us, a little fragment of time, which is a few years, seems very long. But if you have a vast consciousness, maybe 10,000 years is like, you say, Brahma's eyes blinking. When he blinks his eyes, a few thousand years have passed. So it's also relative. Man is relative. His whole experiences are relative. And he draws his conclusions based on those relativities. And that is the reason why he seemed to be caught up in the mystery of her cosmic ignorance. That is why she is working out without knowing why she is working. In the lower planes of inertia and inconscience, the force that is at work, evolution, energy that is there in matter, stone giving way to a plant, and plant giving way to a living being, a creature, a moving, dynamic, living being, life giving way to a mental being. There seems to be no one doing it, it seems to be happening automatically. This is the lower creation, this is the lower force. This is the lower Shakti known as the Apara Shakti, but it's the same Shakti. It is the Mahashakti. She has plunged into the darkness and is at work slowly moving, growing out of darkness towards light. The whole journey of man is a journey from darkness to light, from inconscience to consciousness. Mostly it is a very slow, long journey, except for those who are totally, completely aware and have taken the decision to put their energy in the hands of the divine guide. The grace is always there. That energy is also love. That energy is also grace. She's at work all the time. We give ourselves to that and it will take us forward. If we think we are in charge of our journey, it takes a very, very long time. As long as feel we are responsible for our own development, for our own evolution, and slowly we progress, we change, it's all very well. But where does power to change come from? Where does the energy to grow come from? It comes from her. It's another word for love. The divine love, the divine grace that is sustaining everything. So this is why he knows that she will finally do it. So he has submitted everything to her, though she is his force. In her mystery, in the mystery of her cosmic ignorance, in the insoluble riddle of her play, a creature made of perishable stuff, in the pattern she has set for him, he moves. This is creation, the being, the individual. She has set for him a pattern, only for him, because the being who can consciously choose to grow, to evolve is man. Other beings don't evolve consciously towards anything higher other than what they are. The gods don't need to. Each one is a representation of an absolute in his own domain. The animals are the vital beings. They want to be perhaps beautiful, wonderful, vital creatures. A dog can become a wonderful dog, but a dog will never dream of becoming a man. Man is the only creature who has the privilege of being connected with both ends. He is born from the original inconscience. He carries in him all the defects of the lower nature. He is aware also of that end, the goal, and so he can choose his journey. He can choose also the rhythm and the speed with which he can make the journey. That is tapasya. But not really. Tapasya in the classical sense was always based on the notion of withdrawing from life, withdrawing from nature and concentrate on the spirit. But what tapasya mother speaks of is the tapasya of the body. It is in the body that this has to be done. The soul is anyway is divine. The body is not distinct from the soul. It is a projection, it is an instrument of the spirit. Only there is ignorance that has come between. He thinks with her thoughts. For a while, the spirit has accepted to be trapped in nature. With her trouble, his bosom heaves. That is, he goes through, it is the spirit that suffers, the spirit that makes effort. He is whatever her artist will can make, just like an artist. Sri Aurobindo often uses the image of a sculptor. That artist who shapes, who breaks, who molds, who hammers, and gradually creates another higher, more perfect embodiment. Because the body can be an expression of beauty. Beauty is an expression of a divine principle in manifestation. In the physical, beauty is the principle of the divine. Just like in the mind, light is the divine principle. Although she drives him on her fancy's roads, it is how things happen in the world of nature, by trial and error, I suppose. Because she is working her way in darkness. So she makes attempts and then changes her mind. Like she took a few thousand years to create a dinosaur, and after a few thousand years decided, no, there's no need to pursue that particular form. Another form could be tried out. And she's not in a hurry, she can try out all kinds of forces she tries. Why not? A dinosaur is a dinosaur. But she doesn't have to look like me. But when she saw that his consciousness is very small compared to his physical body, his head is very, very small. So his mind and spirit is not capable of really coping with his physical needs. She said, no, this is a waste of time. We'll start again. And that's why so many creatures have come and gone. We speak of pralayas, we speak of new creations. One creation and then it's wiped off. Another, it's just like an artist tries to paint a picture and then says this is not good enough. So he just tears out that paper and throws it on the ground and makes another one. Although she drives him on her fancy's roads, at play with him as with a child or slave, to freedom and eternal's mastery and immortality stand above the world, she moves, her seeming puppet of an hour. He describes the soul or the spirit as her seeming puppet. He allows himself to be moved by her for an hour, because life has a certain limited, and for a long time we can't sustain that energy forever. The body is not yet capable, so it is allotted a certain amount of time, and the soul is asked to do what it can during that time. And so he is her slave, the slave of nature. But actually, this life on earth in a body is meant to move man towards freedom and the eternal's mastery, to become one with the eternal. Only the eternal is free from dependence of everything. We are not free. What we call freedom is dependence. We are not dependent on our ego, on our desires, on our nature. To be free is to be free from desire. To be absolutely without the need to depend on anything. This is what evolution is leading man towards, that realization. She moves a seeming puppet of an hour. Even in his mortal session in body's house, an aimless traveller between birth and death. That's how it seems for a while. Ephemeral, dreaming of immortality. That's how we are. We don't like to die. We want to live happily ever after. But there is no ever after, because we are not capable of bearing the burden of eternity. We break down under the pressure. She spurs, to reign, she spurs him. Slowly she has, this is part of the whole purpose of education, you might say, to break the spirit emerge from the pressure of ignorance. It is already there, that spirit, to make it come into the open and shape and mold and guide. This is the purpose of life, to keep on moving towards higher and higher unachieved goals. That goal that I have not achieved is there, waiting for me. I know it is there, I've seen it. If I've seen it, it is already there. Only I have to actually make it real. Realize is to make real. Not as a dream. Not a dream, but a fact. And that is the very purpose of evolution. It is as if the divine had a dream. Mother speaks also of the dream. A new world which already exists. But to move into that world, we have to take up all our bag and baggage. So much of it is useless, drags us down. So we have to know what to keep, what not to keep, what to transform, what to throw away, and slowly move into that new reality which is waiting for us to experience. He takes up her powers. Therefore, the spirit takes up the powers in the body, in the vital, in the mind. The powers of nature is body, life, mind. That same conscious force energizes the body, energizes the vital, energizes the mind. He has harnessed her to the yoke of her own law. Her law is evolution, is progress. Slowly she has to move. The manifestation of the earth goddess takes her time. She's dragging her way upwards. There is so much that she has to be done, so much that has to be removed, thrown away. So she has to keep on, trailing through time, through centuries. But it is he who is really prodding her. It is this consciousness that is asking her, nature, you have to move. That is why the whole work, you might say, of transformation, evolution, change here was given to Mother. She is that force. He asked her to do it. And so she is still doing it. He has harnessed her to the yoke of her own law. His face of human thought puts on a crown. His face of human thought, because that is the best we have arrived at. Thought. Slowly that thought which is a slave of semi-ignorance, darkness, error, gradually it becomes more than mind. Mind reaches to a higher level. He doesn't mention the word, but it puts on a crown. It is not at all, you might say, dragged down by any error, darkness, shadow, and failure. This is the whole purpose of evolution, to lift man from his present state to that. And she will do it. She is the force. She is the energy. He is the one who is inspiring her. He is in the background. So Sri Aurobindo has as if set before us his yoga, his principles, but it is she who executes it. That is why she says, Lord, thou hast willed and I execute. And so her work is so much longer, so much harder. But it is his work also at the same time, because they are not distinct. Mother is Sri Aurobindo. That force is the divine force. Consciousness and force are one. That's why one of her mantras is that she joined the two names together. Mother Sri Aurobindo in one name is my refuge. It's not a plural verb, it's a singular verb. Is my refuge. They are one. Two aspects of the two who are one. But for a long time he stays in the background. He's very modest outwardly, as he was always. To obey she feigns. No. Sorry. Held in her leash, bound to her veiled caprice, he studies her ways, if so he may prevail even for an hour, and she work out his will. He is held in her leash. For a long time, the soul is held back, because the outer being is not ready to become an expression of the spirit. The body is not capable of constantly expressing the spirit. The mind neither. It has its small limitation. These instruments are still incomplete, imperfect. Until and unless the instruments become perfect, the ideal cannot be realized. It's like having work out even a machine. If with the help of a machine you work out something, create whatever, a plane or a ship or whatever. But if the machine is imperfect, it will not be perfect. So that mechanism, which is our nature, has to be perfected. Without that mechanism being perfected, the realization will not be perfect. Which is why it was always considered next to impossible. The outer nature doesn't change, let it stay the way it is. Just don't be concerned with it. Be concerned only with your inner soul or spiritual existence. Meditate, concentrate on that, and the rest give it to the divine. Which is not exactly, this was the old Vedantic yoga. Withdraw from the world. This is not Sri Aurobindo's yoga, he has moved ahead from there. Because he seems to be held in her leash, bound to her veiled caprice. Because she seems to be illogical. A capricious person is not very logical. And that is why women are supposed to be capricious, because they don't seem to have a very regulated mode of behavior, which is not true actually. There are sudden spurts of possibilities, realizations, experiences that emerge. And so it's not really a caprice, it is her force. But since we don't perceive, why did she have to create? You can ask, why did she have to create a plant in the world of matter? The world of matter did not suffer. Matter did not know suffering. A stone did not weep and ask for being turned into a living, basis of a living being. She said, let's try it. The world of soil, the world of mud, has possibilities hidden there. That is why. Hidden in the soil is the unknown possibility of a new active consciousness. But it was very well hidden. So it was believed that the soil and the mud and the stone are inert. The very nature of matter is inertia. It is not. It is veiled spirit. He studies her ways, if so he may prevail even for an hour, and she work out his will. Slowly he adapts himself, the consciousness adapts himself to the conditions of manifestation. This consciousness in the plant or the amoeba, the first living forces, seems very small. It is the infinite consciousness. The consciousness in the atom seems non-existent. It is there. And every atom is in its place. Just like every planet is in its place, so is the atom. Every star. There is no error. So there is a conscious guidance. But he seems to be hidden in all that, in the outward world of matter. If so, he may prevail even for an hour. Slowly the consciousness emerges. And he work out and she work out his will. His will is to manifest consciousness. He makes of her his moment passion surf. Because passion is momentary. It's a spurt. It doesn't last. Desire, emotion. Because the first changes that come from the world of matter come from the movement of desire. That's where the change begins. He allows that. To obey, she feigns. She follows her creature's lead. Her creature's lead is he. He is the leader. She seems to follow him. For him, she was made, lives only for his use. But conquering her, then is he most her slave. When a new form of manifestation takes place, then you realize that he, the whole being, is following a new order, a new way of life. For instance, at a certain stage of evolution, Mother gave the instance. The world of the animal. They walk on 4 legs. Their vision is horizontal. The vision is not vertical. They see the world from their standpoint. An animal is glorious, is beautiful, a tiger, a lion, they are wonderful things. But they can't be more than what they are. But when in man, the push in nature is to make him vertical. He could look up at the sky. He could taste infinity, eternity. He could not reach out right away, but he had a glimpse. He could turn his head and see all around. So his whole notion of existence becomes vaster. It is as if the physical change that nature gave in evolution follows the requirement of the consciousness that is now not satisfied with just being on a flat level like the animal. It has to be capable of taking in a much broader, much vaster field of experience. At last he wakes to a memory of self. Otherwise he has become her slave. Our consciousness, when we say we do something consciously, it's not as if we are doing it from the divine conscious point of view. It is just that within us there is a certain awareness that this has to be done. Slowly the development in evolution, which is an evolution of consciousness, it's not a change of form. In evolution is a change of form because it is a change of consciousness. Slowly you realize this change of consciousness should lead to what? To that pure state of consciousness, which is us ourselves. He sees within the face of deity. We can look within and see the presence inside us. The Godhead breaks out through the human mold. Her highest heights she unmasks, and his mate. Nature can lift us to the heights of the highest realization because nature is the companion of the spirit, is the other aspect of the truth. It is the truth power, the truth consciousness, the supramental force. Slowly it is as if she is leading this incomplete manifestation to an expression of the complete truth. And that is the ultimate play of the supramental manifestation. I think we could stop there.